Hey friends, we're back at the mill today. Last week when we were out, we had one of the grinders fail. And so I'm going to take it apart, see what the problem is, see if we can get it back in operating order. It's an important piece of equipment out here. We use it all the time and it works fantastic, man. These little hand grinders are amazing. So yeah, let's get to work. Let's break it down. Factory finish now. Just real gentle taps there. I'm not hitting it very hard. Beautiful. Okay, so we just had a couple set screws in there that had come loose, and we set it back in its proper orientation, right? Because there's, you know, kind of a little keyway in there, or not really a keyway. There's a flat spot for those nuts to sit in. We got those in the right spot, and now we're good to go. This should work like a champ. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and just loosely fit this on. Yeah, maybe not. I was hoping I'd get a bite on it. Let me just turn it with these and see if it turns at all. Yeah, we're good. Okay, great. Let's start the cleanup process. here we go. Alright, we're going to give this just a couple minutes to tack up. And if you notice, when I'm coming in and spraying, I'm hitting all my various points and angles. I'll pull in a little closer on the next round so you can see that. If you've got your finger on here and you run it across and you come to a stop, you will be doubling the material in that one point, and that's where you're going to start getting a run, okay? So if I'm spraying, I will... You like my sound effects? If I'm spraying, I won't keep my finger pressing down. I make passes, okay? And I'm keeping it between 6 and 8 inches away, depending on the spray pattern and depending on wind, right? So here, let's go for round 2. So notice, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and hit all my angles. The air coming out of this, when it comes in here, that air is going to start swirling and bouncing off all this stuff on the inside, and that could leave you very dry in there. So you want to hit those spots first with a nice wet coat. Not wet coat, just not dry. Look, it's not bad, right? I mean, it's super light. Okay, so that's my turbulent areas. Now watch. Okay. So we had those light coats on there initially, right? And that gave us a base, and it was still tacky. We want it to be tacky. We don't want it to dry out, because then you're not going to get a good adhesion to the layers. Our third coat, however, we went back and we put it on a little bit thicker. And that's the danger of spray paint. It doesn't atomize as good as, say, you know, a $600 automotive gun like a SATA or an Iwata. So you got to be careful with that third pass or your heavier passes. Now the reason we're going with a heavier pass on this, and normally I would always just do light coats, but this material, it has that little fisheye texture to it, right? So it's kind of a, what do they call this? I can't remember, hammered look, right? I thought it would be fine for this. And that has to be wet to activate that, right? So if you just keep putting dry coats on there, it's not gonna have that reaction to where it separates its metallics out. So there's just two different kinds of metallics in there, and they're gonna move away from each other. Anyway, it's looking really pretty from over here. Another tip is, if you want to know how dry your paint is, but you don't want to get fingerprints in the material, spray the same amount on the tape that's next to it, right? And then you can touch the tape. This is just how I roll. Did you see what I did? I put the wheel on first. That's not how it goes. Yeah, that's how they have it.
Yes, sir.
Can you help me? Are you okay to be on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Beckham, start it up. Spin it, buddy.
Start cranking. There we
Keep
go.
your hands well over here. Use the tool rest and just gently put it in there like that.
Yeah.
Good job! Awesome, guys! You all are the first ones to use this tool. Let me put it
No,
on.
I bet somebody used it before.
Well, a couple hundred times. So this is what we did today. We restored this. It didn't work. It wouldn't function. And the frame was busted. All right, so we got another piece of equipment back up and running today, and I got to get home. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I guess, Lord willing, we'll see you next time.